everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back. And this is your second Reacher Season 2 episode review. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there in the world of now. Christmas approaches. The bells are ringing. And Reacher is always slamming people to the ground and always kicking ass. How does this man maintain... Like, I don't really know. I feel like Reacher is the dream body to have, where like you're big, you're bulk, and you just get to eat a lot of food just to maintain your body. Oh my god, I would love that. Love that dream down the road. But yeah, today here we are, episode 2, going into it. We get more of the the character focused stuff that I want. Like the way they're playing out this mystery, the pacing so far is still perfect. We're like, we are progressing, but we are taking smaller breaks to like kind of like, you know, catch up on the characters, because I believe, you know, like I said last time, that this season is more character focused on Reacher. This is more of like getting to know more about him and more of like what really makes his mind work, what motivates him to be the man who he is right now, especially slowly reuniting with his old team is definitely bringing up those, you know, reminders of like, you know, how things were, you know, before, and like, you know, how those all kind of either molded him even further to who he is today, as well as at the same time as, you know, getting an idea of how he kind of, you know, put those like firm grounds of like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, no ifs, ands, or buts, you know, that's about it. And, you know, honestly with this episode, you know, getting to see Reacher, you know, have like, you know, playful, you know, banter with people he knows, where like in season 1 he was getting to know people, and that was kind of like, you know, the way that, you know, us as newcomers to the Reacher show and also to the Reacher universe is that, you know, we feel for the Margrave characters of understanding who the heck Reacher is. And this season so far is just playing around with the notion of like, they all have banter, they all have existing, you know, dynamics, and it's just fun to see that on screen, you know, to see kind of like not too much of a different side with Reacher, but just how like people who already are used to Reacher just like scoff or roll their eyes like, yeah, because they're just used to it, and that creates like, you know, funny moments that don't feel forced. Like again, once again, the humor in this show, it's not a full, you know, the full takeover per se, but it's their brand of humor, and it always hits, mind you. So this episode in particular continues to follow, still setting up a very nice little light loose trilogy of the first 3 episodes. You know, I have no idea what happens in episode 3 so far, but I'm very engaged to see what the hell happens, because we're only in 2 episodes in. I'm so engaged with the plot right now. I'm so trying to figure out what is the overall game. You know, again, they didn't entirely introduce any new pieces. They're just moving the existing pieces forward into the story. And I'm already like, you know, we're getting like, you know, certain dynamics, certain, you know, encounters where I'm like, damn, we're only at episode 2 of 8 and we're already getting these scenes. I'm loving it. I'm really, and I can't wait to see where things go forward here. But for me, episode was great. Well, with that being said, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Reacher. So picking up exactly where we left off last time, they're leaving the house. They're kind of like obviously distraught. They're just assuming, yeah, the worst has happened. He's dead. It's over. So now that's 2 of their investigators down. So now they really need to figure out where the hell do they go next. Reacher finally gives into his intuitions and decides to do something about that. Black Sudan has been following us everywhere. Immediately, the man, and this was like the first clip they showed for the show a few weeks ago. Jack literally kicked the damn hood of the car with such a strong impact that the airbags deployed. Kind of unconsciously, you know, knocks out the driver, and then Reacher literally like breaks his face in, and I'm just like, damn. And however, the one problem is that Black Sudan is kind of common in New York, so, which again, that's what Neagly's been telling him about, like, yeah, Black Sudan is kind of common in New York, like, it's nothing special. And Reacher attacked the wrong dude. He attacked the detective working the case, which I'm like, oh my god, damn, like, oh god, it's just not like, you know, that was like, I think Reacher's first boo-boo of the whole show, where like, damn, he just, that's like, you know, a mistake. And of course, you know, like any person, like, you see a dead animal, you feel like, you know, like, very aggressive, you know, towards the people who done it, and like, you know, even though they're not there right now, like, you know, you gotta take your frustrations out of someone, so I can definitely relate to that. So they're leaving. So yeah, so they're already kind of like getting made. Like, you know, if the bad guys are following them and the good guys that are kind of like still against them in a way, all know where they are. that doesn't really give them much credence right now to figure out what to do. So they got to drop the car and, like, you know, figure out some other means of transportation as they figure out where to go next. Which, again, with the numbers in hand, just everything they have already, like, you know, their one little thing knows, like, okay, we need to find the other special investigators, and coincidentally, a couple of them are also in Jersey, so they're next. Again, what is with them and, like, deciding, like, oh, we're all gonna move, like, relatively close in the tri-state area? Like, what was the ideal there? I really don't know 100%. It was kind of like, you know, just a coincidence, I guess. So they head over to the parking lot of the rental facility, trying to find a new car, and they're trying to figure out, like, how do we? All of our fake IDs are made. Anyone would know. We can't steal a car because they're immediately going to track us. Like, how the fuck do we? How are we able to, like, you know, get to Jersey without, like, you know, in a quick fashion without, like, you know, really being stopped? And coincidentally, in the weirdest, like, this is the only, like, I kind of like, okay, it's really, like, kind of like an act of it. I really don't think this was, like, 100% planned or whatsoever. Maybe it was. Who the hell knows? Reacher uncovers or discovers or, you know, spots with his big masculine eyes another former special investigator, the one that he was actually kind of got feelings for, the one that Neely was kind of, like, you know, haggling him about a couple last episode. About, oh, it was kind of obvious that you and her were, like, got a thing for each other, but you never did anything with it because, again, Reacher wanted to respect the superior underling in a way, like, you know, I'm her boss. I should not be sleeping with someone that, like, takes orders from me. I should not be doing that. And, you know, rightfully so. I do respect with that. So yeah, he finds her. They meet up a little. They catch up a little bit. She's just coming back from a deep undercover assignment. So technically, she still has her fake IDs in hand. So since that technically was legitimized by an official source, they're gonna use it to rent out a car and head over to Jersey. So they fill her in on everything that's happening. They give her the numbers because she's a numbers girl. Sadly, she cannot crack it whatsoever. There's no real, like, you know, clues here for her to work with, so, you know, that's another dead end, even with 4 special investigators. But right now, the only real heading they can really, you know, work with right now is, okay, one of the other special investigators who works with Drew from Degrassi is in Jersey, so hopefully, you know, maybe if we can find him, you know, like, get some answers from him, so hopefully that would, you know, create some sort of, like, you know, answers for them. But at the same time, they're kind of just being aware of, like, we're already down 2 members, we could potentially be down 3, so I'm like, we got to keep that possibility open. One of the henchmen also calls over the White Dragon. I think that's his name at this point. I'm not 100% certain. The main villain, the big bad. Just let him know, hey, I just saw Reacher literally kick someone's ass that isn't us in, like, 10 seconds. Like, I know we eventually have to fight this dude and to kill him and all of the other investigators, but, like, you're going to send a mini army after these people. And he's like, dude, don't worry. I know this already. You got this. You know, put it on my car. Which I'm like, damn, you're gonna have to hire, like, maybe, like, a medium-sized army to take down Reacher. Like, that man is built. And again, I will continue to talk about his size and everything, you know, for the rest of the season. For the rest, as long as this show is on the air, I will always comment on his physique. So let that be a factual there. They arrive in Jersey. They head over to the office of their friend that lives in Jersey. Same thing like the other guy. It's completely ransacked. They're looking for the flash drive that they found already. So they know already, you know, that, you know, that was what the target was. But everything's already been ransacked already, so they're not really going to find anything new. However, they can find a direction to where potentially he is. So they find a portrait of a nice young woman at a bar, which, again, if you frame someone, meaning that's, you know, your little boo boo. I can't do that. I can't do that voice. I really can't. So they gotta go find her. So they head over to the bar. Reacher and Eagly are taking points since they look the least like cops, which I'm like, fair point. They go in, they try looking for her, but the bartender kind of, like, you know, tries to trick them around so that, you know, she can get away. Which he tries, but since the other two are outside, they immediately catch her, and Reacher, again, easily kicks the freaking bodyguard's ass, which I'm like, I feel so sorry, and I'm like, I would honestly be in the position of, like, if I was ever to hire a Reacher for any security detail, I would pay him $1 million, because the man literally will guarantee you will be safe. Nothing will happen under my watch, and I will believe that, you know, that track history. So they bring her back in the bar, they talk to her gently, just, you know, trying to figure out what was his last moments, what was the last time she saw him, and she fills them in on, you know, just the basic details that he was at the bar, he got an important call, said a bunch of numbers, and then left. 65K in 100, so, or something along that lines. And that was the last time she saw him, And Reacher just points out, yeah, there's a possibility he could be dead because, the person he was working with is also dead. So just keep that in mind. You probably saw your boyfriend for the last time ever. So with all the big numbers throwing in their way, considering the fact they are in Jersey, where is the most possible place you can get that much amount of money? Atlantic City, which is basically the poor man's version of Vegas, which I've been to already. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually surprised if I'm not broke yet. I've survived Vegas somehow. I don't feel cocky I'm going to survive again, let alone Atlantic City. So then so Rachel's just like kind of guesstimating like, okay, maybe this is not really just like a personal vendetta mission. This could just be in general like they probably were involved in a gambling operation that gone south, or they discovered something. Like who the hell knows really? But they're just assuming like it's anything goes here. Anything could be possible. Maybe they're not even the targets, but they're being realistic. Like, yeah, this is too much of a coincidence for like not for us to be involved here. Which Reacher's like, fair point. I just want to like minimize our involvement here. Maybe we will be safe. They talk over. They request the security, the head of the security department over here to like answer the questions about them since they did work part time as freelancers once in a blue moon for the casino chains. And he's played by Betty's dad from Riverdale, who was also a Peacemaker. So we got 2 Peacemaker alums in this show, which I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. This show was filmed in Canada, so I'm like, I'm not surprised you're reusing some actors here, or you're tapping into the Canadian base of actors. Obviously distraught that like they're possibly dead, that his hired help are dead, and he's like, okay, look, I'll do you the favor, I'll run the numbers, I'll see if like there's any large quantity missing. I don't think so because we check those shits very daily. We're on top of this shit, but we'll double check. We'll do the math for you again. But that's gonna take a while, so he decides hey, where are you guys staying? And they're like, well, we're kind of trying to figure out a place to go to without like getting blown our cover. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what. I'll hook you guys up. I'll get you a suite here in the casino. It's on me. It's on the house. Any friends of your friends are my friends. Which I'm like, cool. One of the rare times like working security actually pays well. So they get the suite, which I'm like, again, for Reacher, it's like this is like, the fuck is this? Like he's like he's just not used to this like standard of living. He's just like used to like motels and stuff like that. So the 4 decided to chill out for a little bit, take a beer, kind of, catch up with each other since they haven't really had a moment to like, sit down and like talk and like, I want to say like maybe almost close to a decade probably. So I'm forgetting, I'm still learning all their names. Neegly catches the other 2 up on her life, just, all the promotions, the escalation in her career side. She wants to like, take care of her dad more and like, bring him closer to home, for her, but, it costs a lot of money. As for the one that Reacher is pining for, in an extent, well, whatever Reacher's form of pining is, she was engaged for a while, but the man cheated on her, and she's like, great, it's great. I could finally let my guard down, like actually, have companionship. Oh, he was a douchebag, and he was a cheat. That's great. In reality, yeah, you don't cheat, kids. That's like fucking horrible. It really is. You get discovered one way or another, especially in 2023, 2024. Like it's gonna happen one way or another. It's gonna come out. And at first, Reacher's kind of like the most like overreactive. Like, what? You're engaged? You're taken? And it's like when she starts explaining, it's like, okay, I'm good. I still have it in. And then they catch up on Reacher, which apparently Reacher never told them his plans for like the Nomad Life, or like, bouncing around state to state. He never told them this. And they're just like shocked of like, how are you still alive? Like, like I know it's possible to live outside, don't have a house, don't have an apartment. And he again, this is what's one of my favorite scenes where like he's actually legitimately explaining to why he doesn't do what he doesn't like live a traditional life of like getting an apartment, getting a house, finding love, having kids, settling down, like having a 9 to 5. He does not believe in that. It does not feel freeing to him. He wants to feel free. He wants to be able to like go anywhere he wants with no commitments. He wants to be able to do whatever he wants with no issues, with no like turning his head around trying to like think like, oh wait, I have this person that's waiting for me. I gotta stay back. Like he doesn't want to feel like that. which is respectful. But they're just also like, you know, they ask him a tons of questions like, how do you get place to place? How do you sleep? How do you eat? Like, you know, obviously there's like so many questions, and like those are all legitimate questions. And he's just like, ask away. I don't fucking care. They're all trying to sleep that night, but Reacher can't sleep, so he decides to go downstairs to the all-you-can-eat $21 buffet, which, again, the man literally is loading up like, you know, like nothing. And I'm just like, damn, Reacher, just, damn. Consumes that all pretty quickly. Still looking at the numbers, can't really crack anything about it. He starts walking around the casino. He runs into I'll know her name by next episode, but the one he's pining for. She's on a hot streak at one of the tables. She catches out, trying to get I think apparently they were trying to like bribe her, like, here's 2 free concert tickets if you basically back away. She's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna cash out now. Not a big victory for me, but like, you know, I'll still cash out just for the sake of like, you know, giving you guys like a fair chance. And then meanwhile, in the background, one of the guys that they were talking about, the one that was following them, the guy with the scar, is right behind them. So now it's like, oh, they know where they are right now. Reacher and her take a moment outside, just walking, like talking about life. She wants to do stuff, you know, stopping corruption within the government, trying to like, you know, get tax money to the right places, which I'm like, again, very fair goals, but sadly government, politicians, and, you know, rich people sadly have that shit locked in a key to make sure that they're, you know, still in power, which is like, you know, a fair game there. So they're walking around for a little bit more. She gets the courage to ask him, why'd you never do anything? Like, why'd you never make a move on me? Like, you know, I've been like thinking about the question for years. Like, it was clear as day he had a crush on her, and it was clear as day that she had a thing for her. She had a thing for him. So why did they never do it? Why never happen? And Richard's just like, again, point blank, just completely honest. I was your boss. I didn't want to sleep with you because I was your boss. And she's like, that is exactly what I expected from you. And I was kind of disappointed because I was expecting something more from you. But then again, what was I expecting? You're a Reacher. This is what was going to happen anyway. Eventually they switch gears. She tells him, yeah, I noticed these two were trailing us for like a while now. And he's like, yeah, me too. So they also know there's a very convenient black sedan car right in front of them as well. Most likely with a guy with a gun ready to, like, you know, take them down with ease. And he's like, well, we can just dip into this construction yard and, you know, take them out. Which they do. And again, once again, it's not your, like, you know, traditional, like, we're moving fast. Because again, you know, Reacher is bulky. He has power, but not a lot of speed. So, like, you know, I like the way they choreograph these fights where, like, it's slower in pace, but you feel the weight of every attack. You feel it. You really do. One little nitpick, and again, it's one of those, like, oh, come on. Like, you know, why do I mean, it's not going to hurt the reg. It's just something I noticed where, like, when they throw the guy down, when Reacher throws the first guy down into the construction blocks, the cinder blocks, they feel fake, and I'm like, yeah, not surprised. You know, again, we can't really throw people down there; they'd be fucking dead. So they take down the other two. Reacher takes out the last guy in a really brutal way, like putting his face into like the cement, the wet cement, which I'm like, ew. Also, at the same time, that's a fucking horrible way to go. Which I'm like, again, they kind of knew what they were doing when they were going up against Reacher. I would have found a way to, like, you know, escape if I can. So they find just car keys. They look into the car. They find tons of files on all the special investigators. They find a phone. Reacher gets in touch with the big boss, the big head, and again, like that was a moment where, like, you know, it's your tradition. It's not your traditional, like, it's the villain, you know, like, you know, taunting the hero. It's like the hero, like, literally saying, like, I know you're scared of me. I know you're sending all these goons after me because you can't do shit. You really cannot do anything against me. Which, again, it's such a different dynamic where, like, even the big bad knows, like, if Reacher is in the same room as me and I have no weapons, I am a dead man. I'm going to die. Which is why he's doing what he's doing. So that kind of creates to the different sort of, you know, tension between them, which works out pretty well. But yeah, I'm also expecting to see we'll have a complete reversal at some point. You know, I will predict. It's a low prediction where, like, yeah, Reacher will have like having to take a kneel moment and, like, he'll do something to him, which I'm like, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. So they return back to the hotel after burying the bodies in wet cement, which I'm like, again, Jesus, Mary, and me. That is like, what the hell? Like, that is so brutal. But at the same time, like, it's what I expect from both of them. Reacher's tending to his wound. He also helps out the other investigator with her wound, and it's like, you got his whole chest, his whole abs are like, his rippling muscles are like right in front of her, and she just like, yeah, I know you're lonely. I know life on the road can like, make you lack human compassion. So they sleep together, and apparently Jack just like screams a lot during sex, which I'm like, damn. It's like, hopefully it was worth it. After 10 years of waiting, hopefully it was all worth it. We cut up to the next day. Everyone in the freaking hotel knows, like, yeah, we know you two banged. We know, like, the whole freaking, even the basement people even heard ya. Guy from Riverdale shows up. He walks in and, tells them, like, yeah, we did the research. Nothing is missing. I talked to all the other casinos in the area. Same ordeal. Just nothing right here, right now, that's, indicating like there's a big, scam going on. At the same time, we're getting the guy from before, the guy who's doing all like the traveling, the fake passport sort of thing. So apparently, I read the X-rays because Amazon Prime has the X-ray feature, so they'll give the name of the character. So that's AM. So that's the character that the other two investigators before they die were researching into. So that's the main guy, and he's I guess going to commit a heist or something. I guess that's the play there. They're still being a little vague on details, but like I'm assuming that's going to happen in the next episode, the heist. And then he also tells in the banner that police just discovered 2 more bodies in the same mountain facility as the Drew from Degrassi. So, and they have photos. Yeah, there are other investigators who does. So that's 3 investigators dead right now. Which again kind of hurts them all, but like because they were part of their unit. But now Reacher's like, we're gonna get more guns because these people are gonna die. And that was the end of this week's episode of Reacher. Again, so far, loving it, really am. The pacing, the character dynamics, the slow yet kind of like, we're at the right speed for the pacing of the story, with everything going on. I just really hope, with everything, TV shows tend to have like strong starts, weak endings, or like weak starts, great endings. So, I really hope this is like a consistent across the board like season 1 was, where like, you're getting the right amount of details in every episode. And hopefully that's something that we can progress more into as we approach the remaining 6, as well as the 3rd that I haven't watched yet, which I'm like, damn, if I had time, because I'm recording this late at night, because my schedule, this is all that allows me, that I would literally just like jump over head over ship of like, yeah, it's time for me to like, get back into it. I really want to watch that next episode right now, because that's how invested I am. I really am. But so far, yeah, everything's going well so far. Everything's going great. Another great episode from the show. Giving this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this week's episode of Reacher. I would love to hear your comments down below as always. But I believe this is going to do it for me today, everyone. So otherwise, this has been What's 2 from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 2nd season of Reacher. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's 2 besides our Reacher episode reviews, right now we are currently just doing Reacher. We will be back in a few more days with another Reacher episode review. And then we got Doctor Who finally after that, and then the next episode. So we're going to be a little out of order for a little bit, but hopefully by episode 5 or 6, we should be back on the wagon there. Hopefully speaking, barring anything that happens, because things tend to happen. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring the bell and follow on social media. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. So until next time, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.